Alright guys, got another build here today, the Dark Impact on the DF03 chassis. Let's get straight into it. So first of all, step 2, which is creating the rear differential. It's a ball diff. I haven't built a ball diff for quite a few years, but hopefully it'll be alright. First step we're going to do is glue these. I'm going to use Gorilla Glue, so hopefully that'll be alright. So do that first. So that's the first part done. Glue seems to have bonded nicely, so next we'll move on to assembling the rear diff. So is that stage complete? Always do it in a little tub just in case you drop any of the balls. You'll have a good hard job finding your balls if you drop any of them. So now to put the top on. So now to put in the thrust bearing. Make sure you grease it. There's a little retaining bolt nut for the other end and the spring. It all goes in like so. So what you want to do, get 2 items in it, just so you can't spin it. That's good. And it's nice and free. Whoop. And there you go, step 2 done. Don't forget your shims underneath the bearing. The little foam bits in the end, cut them in half, put them in, put a little dab of grease on them, stop them falling out. That's step 2 done. Now move on to step 3, where we place it in the rear gearbox. There we go, ready to put the front cover on. Get in there, boy. Screw it up. So there's the first part of step 4 done. Don't forget your 2 MK5 shims on the end and your bearings in. Now we move on to the next part, which is the main shaft. So do that next. So this part here is a bit tricky. You need to put your bearing on first, then your washer, then your clip, then the rest. But the bearing goes on first. I made a mistake and done it wrong, so there you go. And that D3 is actually a plastic part. And that's how it should look. Little bearing on the end, make sure you don't lose it. Now we'll move on to this bit. The main shaft. So there we go, there's the propeller joint and the main shaft done. Now we move on to putting them in the rear gearbox, which we was working on before. Make sure you grease them up. So first part of step 5 is done. I had a bit of a problem with these. You've got to make sure you use the right bearings and the right gears. The parts aren't that clearly marked. They're not like they're not numbered or lettered or anything like that, so you kind of struggle to know what's what, but it's all there in front of you. It's just I've got a habit of not reading. So there's the gearbox done. Just now to get part A3, the cover on, and that's step 5 done. So step 5 finished. Honest to God, guys, I struggled with that. I need to read the book more, pay more attention. So next is step 6, just to get the motor plate on and the spare gear. I'm surprised that hasn't. I thought it had a slipper clutch this, but apparently not. But there you go. So do that next. There you go. Step 6 finished. I initially used the bigger spare gear, but it catches on the spare gear cover, so use the smaller one. Next we move on to step 7 and 8, fitting the motor and the spare gear cover, so I'll do that next. Motor in, now just the spare gear cover. And there you go, step 8 finished. Now on to step 9, which is the rear shock tower. So get all that finished. So that's the first step of part 9 done. Shock tower. Now to move on to the tie rods and fitting it to the gearbox. And there you go, guys, step 9 done. Now we move on to fitting the wishbones in step 10. And there we go, step 10 done. The only thing I'm disappointed about is these brass things. They wear out as quickly as night turns to day, but there we go, step 10 finished. On to step 11. Now you need a little 2.5 drill to drill for this grub screw for the pins. I haven't got a 2.5, I've only got a 2, so hopefully it'll be alright. So that's step 10 11 and 12 complete. Rear gearbox finished. Now we move on to step 13, which is nicely putting it on the chassis. There we go, step 13 done. It's actually starting to look like something. I'm glad that you can actually get the motor out. You don't have to take the car apart to get the motor out, so that's a good thing. So yeah, looking good. Now we're moving on to the front differential and the front gearbox, so I'll get the front diff done first. And there we go guys, there's the front diff done. And the drive shaft, input shaft, bevel gear. Just now to put it in the gearbox. And grease it up, put the top on. And there's the front gearbox complete. So step 16 finished. Now to move on to the putting the front plate on the chassis, step number 17. So there we have it, step 17, body post, steering pillars. Now for step 18, just to get the attaching steering wiper. So I'll do that next. So step 14, steering assembly. Would have been nice if these would have been bearings, but the brass bushings I'll do for now. I can always upgrade it if I decide to spend more time on the car, so more time and money, but hey ho. Now we're moving on to step 19, which is attaching the front gearbox and the drive shaft. There we go, front gearbox, drive shaft and all that goodness on. Not long to go now, just to do step 20, which is the front suspension arms and the pins and all that, so I'll get them done. So step 20 done. Now to move on to the front upright assembly, get them both finished off. And there you go guys, step 20 and 21 finished, front hubs on. It's starting to look a bit like a car now lads. So now, just going to move on to step 23, doing the shocks, and I'll do the shocks on off camera because they're pretty easy, but time consuming. So we'll jump back in, stage 26, putting them on, so I'll do the shocks now. There we go boys. Front and back shocks on, that's step 24 all the way through to 32. Next it's get the electrics in, so won't be doing that. So we're going to pop the wheels on, then probably start the body. Yeah, pop the wheels on, put the front bumper on. Good, jobs are good. And there you go guys, that is pretty much the car finished. And you know what, I like it. I think I'm going to have to get an egress next. I mean, this is nice, but it's very plastic. Shocks feel nice. Yeah, happy with that. So now we'll move on to the body. Get that sprayed up. Finish it off. If you've made it this far, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Let's get that body done next. And there you go guys. It's a nice looking kit, innit? Just got to put the stickers on now. Body turned out lovely. Nice Core RC black. So nearly finished now. It's a good little thing, it's good, I like it. Let's get the stickers on. And there you go, isn't it an awesome looking RC? Really happy with it. Only had a couple of problems. When you're building the diffs, make sure you put both bearings in. I only put one in and then ended up with spare bearings, and that's the only problem I have. Stickers are they're not perfect, but got a bit of a ripple on the back here, but you can't really tell. Apart from that, I'm happy with it. Hopefully get a running video out soon. As soon as I've got to get a load of electronics, so I'll get that sorted, get servos sorted, and then get a running video. This is a runner, this one, I'll be running this one. So yeah, thanks for tuning in. Drop us a like, don't forget to subscribe and comment. See you in the next one. Cheers.